You are listening to B.L. Norris's The Dolly Tapes, a part of the Dolly Nightmare Doll universe. Tape 3, Empty Bed.
Breaking news, police have recovered the body of Sheila Brunson from the waters of Dark Lake. Investigators believe this is a suicide and do not suspect foul play. This is just weeks after Brunson's daughter, Darla Brunson's skeletal remains were found in the home under mysterious circumstances. Police have refused to release details in the Darla Brunson's case.
Tape 3. Stephen Messer. It's been, 3 days since Chrissy left us. I keep wanting to say passed, but the sound of that word in my mouth feels too clean. She didn't pass. She was taken. I hadn't even had a chance to grieve because that's when the trouble started. It's when the town started. They buried her yesterday. My baby. My reason for living. We had a small thing. Small because who has money for a big thing anymore? We had a plot and a small box. Even in a small her. Claire held that stupid doll in her lap like it had replaced Chrissy. People said the right things. People pressed hands into mine. I heard neighbors whisper,
"The police are investigating."
They say she didn't die of natural causes. They seemed angry, or afraid, or both. They said these things as if the air we shared might contaminate them. Do you know how it feels to see the thing that made your daughter smile cradled in your wife's arm at your baby girl's at a funeral? It's something I don't think I can put in words without sounding like
the villain.
There were photos. Someone took a photo of Claire holding Lila, and it made the local feed. People left flowers and notes on social media that said, "We're sorry." But someone left a note on my truck that said,
"You brought it home."
I crumpled it. I wanted to throw rocks. I wanted to scream. I wanted to go back to the factory and set it on fire. Instead, I went home. That night, Claire took Chrissy's room. She made a nest, an altar. I thought she'd sleep upstairs on the guest bed, like people do when they're broken and need distance. She didn't. She slept with the doll. She moved Chrissy's mattress into the center. She propped photographs around it. She turned the little nightlight on that Chrissy liked because it made the room glow like she was still in it. I tried to go in once, and the door was locked. She put a sign on the handle that said, "Private." I didn't take it personally at first. How could I? She needed space. She needed to mourn. Then she stopped eating. She stopped going to work. She stopped answering the phone. If I went near the door, I could hear her humming. She kept singing the Dolly Death Doll jingle under her breath like a prayer. She gave Lila a place at the head of the bed. I tried to talk to her about it once, said, "Claire, I can't keep living like this." She looked at me like I'd walked on the ceiling. She said, "You don't understand. She needs me." Neighbors started leaving things at the gate. Casseroles, prayer cards, notes. I accepted them like some politician accepts applause. A woman I used to speak to at the bakery left a casserole and a paper that said, "We heard." It felt like standing in water. One of the notes said,
"Get rid of that fucking doll."
Detective Jessup came by. He said he didn't think I did anything. I wanted to believe him so badly I could taste it. But there was something in his eyes, something accusatory. He asked me, "Where have you been the last 48 hours?" I had to answer. I lied.
Steve, it's Mike. People are talking. Be careful. Be careful with Claire.
That's the polite version. I tried to take Lila once. I thought if I could move it to my truck and drive to a dump or something, maybe Claire would come to her senses. So I waited until Claire was at the laundromat, and I opened the door to Chrissy's room. The room smelled like lemon cleaning fluid and baby powder. There were dolls lined up on Chrissy's bookshelf like soldiers. All of them looked toward the bed. Lila was on the pillow. Claire had left it facing the door. The doll was cold. Wet. There was a smear on the toy's mouth the color of old iron. I took it to my truck. I drove 2 minutes. I stopped at the bridge with the rusted railing and I threw Lila over. I watched plastic glint in the dark and hit the water. Good riddance, bitch. I came back home and I slept. I woke up to the sound of Claire sobbing. When I got to Chrissy's room, the window was open. The screen was cut a little. Wet footprints led from the window to the bed. And there was that fucking doll. It was sitting upright and dry on the mat. It had been handled. I took out my cell phone and took a picture. Claire walked into the room screaming at me. She shoved me away, called me an animal, called me a thief. She said,
"You thought you could take her from me."
And when she slammed the door in my face, I heard something. I heard a sound like small wet hands clapping. I still have the picture on my phone. It's proof. I took more pictures. I documented my wife, losing her goddamn mind. The police came back, not Jessup this time, some patrols. I talked to them. They asked me where I'd been the night before. I told them I was at the cemetery. They asked me if I'd been drinking. They asked me if I had money problems. I told them the truth about chemo bills. I told them I loved my daughter. I don't know when or how I became a suspect. I go to the corner store and folks avert their eyes. I became a recluse, terrified to leave the confines of my home, terrified to be in the house with my own wife. And that doll. At 2:17 in the morning, I heard a noise. I heard dragging. It was soft, slow, like fabric on floorboards. Then the lullaby. I went up the stairs. The hallway was dark. The door to Chrissy's room was ajar by half an inch. I put my hand on the knob and I felt something cold blow over my fingers, a breath that smelled like iron and pennies. I pushed the door open. She was there. Claire, sleeping in Chrissy's bed, face turned to the wall, arms wrapped around Lila. Her hair fell over her shoulder like a curtain. On the dresser were empty plates, as it had been dinner for two. I reached out for Lila. I thought, if I could get the doll away, if I could take it and lock it and destroy it, maybe she'd never come back. Her head turned. Her eyes were open but vacant. But there was something about the doll that repulsed me. That maniacal face. I am ashamed to admit it, but I was terrified. I left the room. I went downstairs and I sobbed. I recorded this because I don't know what else to do. I don't know how long I can keep recording. People look at me like I am the broken one. I can feel it. I can feel the town pushing me out like a bad stone. But I will keep the tape. I will keep it because if I don't, who will know? If anything happens, remember, I told you I tried.
Thank you for listening to the Dolly tapes, part of B.L. Norris Dolly Nightmare Dolls universe. The next Dolly Nightmare Dolly book is now on Amazon for your reading pleasure.